We exclusively spoke with Travis Perry, and man, he is impressive, and I am looking more forward to the Ole Miss men's basketball team every single day.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Steven Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media and a former Ole Miss football staff member. Today, we bring in Travis Perry from the Ole Miss men's basketball team for a little exclusive interview. We learn about that team and a little bit about the Kentucky transfer and what he went through. Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day, and give us a like, subscribe, and comment on your way out, please. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, all one word, for 50% off your first year. Travis Perry joins the podcast, and everybody's in for a treat on this one, because if you are a fan of the movie Hoosiers, we kind of have a real-life Hoosiers situation, even though Travis is from Kentucky and it was in a completely different state. Travis, talk about coming from a smaller town and winning a state championship in Kentucky and how big of a deal that was.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, obviously. For me, it was really special. I got to play for my dad, who I'd played basketball for since I could walk. He got me into the game, got me loving the game. And along with myself, he got my two best friends, Jack Reddick and Brady Shoulders. We played together from kindergarten on. We played everything together. Every weekend we had a basketball, baseball, football. We had something going on. So we'd always played together. And so to be able to go through high school with those guys and finally get to that level where you've watched the state tournaments for forever, seeing how special it is to win it, like you think that those guys are heroes out there, and then getting to be in that position is really awesome. And like you said, being from a small town, being able to do it, the community support that we had in Lyon County was unreal. Like everywhere you go, people are taking care of you. People are just want to know more about your life than about basketball. And I think that goes a long way for us. So to be able to bring the first state championship to Lyon County basketball in history was really, really cool for us.
And the classification system in Kentucky, it's just one state tournament, right? Just one state champion. It's not like in Mississippi where there's 7.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is. So there's still technically classifications, but you all play in one tournament. So like we were technically 1A, so we're the smallest. We graduated with 70 in our class, and we played against some schools at state tournament that had upwards of 3,000 people in there in each grade or in their high school. So like that's pretty big difference. So it's a lot more. I would say it's a lot more rewarding whenever you win like that, because you win, and at the end of the year, like you are the Kentucky state champion. It's not like you're the 1A state champion and the 6A state champion is better than you. You are the state champion. So I like that a lot about it.
Yeah, it's really cool indeed. And then you were the all-time leading scorer in the state of Kentucky at coming out of high school. What was that like? How much attention, like Kentucky is a basketball state whenever you looks like that. How much attention was Lyon County getting from your accolades and how good your basketball team was?
Yes, sir. I mean, we definitely had we definitely had a pretty good media spotlight on us. We were pretty well covered, pretty well talked about. Like when we came to town, there was always a good crowd. We sold out a lot of gyms, a lot of away gyms. So that in itself is a lot of fun. High school basketball is one of the best environments, especially in a state like that really values its high school basketball. Like when you're in those high environment games, it's a lot of fun for myself, for our coaching staff, and for every player on team 1 through 15. Like those are memories of a lifetime. So we definitely had a lot of attention, but it's a lot of fun to get to go out there every night with something to prove and with that X on your back.
So the all-time leading high school scorer in the state of Kentucky ended up going to the University of Kentucky as a true freshman. You got some playing time. You got out there. What was the biggest thing that you noticed in the jump from 1A high school basketball to SEC basketball?
There's a lot, there's a lot of things. The guys are obviously a lot bigger. There's not many 7-footers that are playing like guards in high school basketball that I played against. So that's a big difference. But, the pace of the game is different. You got to be a lot more locked in all throughout the game. Defensively, there's a lot of adjustment there. But, that's also fun getting to go. You're in the high school level for so long. You get comfortable there. You think you know everything about the game, and then you get to go to the college level, the SEC, which was the best league in probably the history of college basketball last year, get to play in that, compete in that. I think it really makes you adapt and grow yourself, and it made me really grow my game and change my mindset as well.
So you transferred from the home state team, the University of Kentucky, to Ole Miss. What went into that decision, and how did Ole Miss get into the game? And just talk about that whole process, please.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I had a really good relationship with Coach Beard. I'm big on just being really trusting. I think that's something that's big for me. Obviously, like I said, I played for my dad my whole life in high school and AAU up until I got on the circuit, and then I played for a great coach, Mark Adams, on the circuit. Guys that I really trusted and knew that they had faith in me to go out there and perform the way that I know I can perform. So that was something that I was really looking for. Coach Beard did that very well. Came to me with a great plan for me, with a plan for Ole Miss and a plan for me and how they work together. And I really liked the vision that he showed me. And I've had a great relationship with his staff since high school. Whenever I was going through the process in high school, they were obviously in my Final Five. So that relationship was very good in high school. So it kind of just carried over.
So what are your goals for this season for Ole Miss? You obviously, I do not think the full roster is here yet, but what is your goals right now as it sits? You're going through all of the practice. What do you want to do?
Obviously, we have many big goals, but I think our goals start every day with getting better. I think you got to come in every day with the mindset of you got to win the day before you can win anything bigger than that. We know that our time here together each day is precious. Each practice is sacred and precious, and we have to take advantage of those. But then long term, you're in the SEC. You want to win the SEC. That's the big thing. We want to win the SEC, be the champion of this league, and then make a deep run in the tournament. I think that's something that I think we have the roster for that. I think we've just got to figure out a way to come together, get that. You can see it right behind my head. Culture we have there. Culture is a big thing for us. We want to come together and kind of just become one unit and play for each other. And I think when our goals are bigger than individual players, I think it'll be really successful.
All right, we're going to get back to Travis Perry in just a second, but right now I want to tell you, ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's kind of like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. First thing I noticed after joining Monarch was how much money I was wasting eating out and having food delivered. Thanks to Monarch Money, I was able to clean that up. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. All right, let's get back to Travis Perry on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Looking at your game, for Ole Miss fans that might be unfamiliar with you, what can they expect from Travis Perry each and every single ball game? What type of a basketball player are you?
Yes, sir. I like to pride myself on being very competitive. That's one of the things I loved about Coach Beard and the staff. Everything's competition here. Everything's about winning, and that's how I've been my whole life. I have to win no matter what it is. So I'm very competitive. We'll do whatever it takes to win. I really want to make an impact on the defensive side of the ball this year. I think that's something, I had, there's a stereotype, there's kind of a stigma about players like me that the defense isn't going to come naturally. So obviously got to work a little bit harder at that. But I really want to be able to pride myself on being a defensive player. And I work really hard on my shot. I have since I could walk. Really being a good shooter has been something that, my dad's instilled in me. Shooting travels, shooting translates, shooting can get you at any level. So just being able to continue working on that while rounding out my game, being a guy that makes little mistakes on the offensive end, having a high assist to turnover ratio is something I really is one of my main goals for this season. But like I said, the main goal is to win.
So in this age, heck, it probably started 10, 15 years ago in the D League. At that point, it was called. Now it's the G League, to where the three-pointers and layups, the analytics of basketball really started to take hold. The Ole Miss uses a little bit of a mid-range game. You can see that whenever they put up a shot chart of the made shots, it was much more 1990s, 2000 looking basketball than the new stuff. Do you have a very good mid-range game? Do you like that? Talk about, I don't know, eras are going. Is this an era, this three and layup thing that we're going through now, or are you more of an old style basketball player?
I definitely agree. I think this era is turning to more of a three and layup type era. But for me and the way that I play, I think the mid range is essential. I'm not, at my size, at my skill set, I'm not going to be down there banging and finishing over 7-footers like consistently. So I've got to have that little in between shot where I'm not just relying on my three too much. Obviously, I have the three part of it is very important for me, being able to stretch the floor, having some range on that to give guys room to drive or give me room to get my shot off. But I've been a big mid-range guy my whole life. In high school, there's a lot of, you draw a lot of doubles, a lot of different defenses. The mid-range is something that if you can find your spots that you like and get to it, that's something that I love doing in high school. And when you have great lob threats, like I had on my AAU team in high school with Flory Badunga, now we have James, we have Corey, Gusto, Malik, all of our bigs here. Nico can go up and catch lobs. So that mid-range shot becomes very essential. Just being able to read the defense, read the tags, and seeing when you need to take the shot. So I would say I'm kind of a mix. Obviously, I like the three and layup, but like I said, at my skill set, I really do value the mid range a lot, and that's something me and Coach Beard and the staff have talked about a lot.
Yeah, I was just curious about that because I think it was like 10, 15 years ago I learned about the Houston D-League team, and they kind of were starting to do all that stuff. And then it just took over everything by storm. What's some surprises on this basketball team that you noticed from the summer workouts? Who's some names that Ole Miss fans need to keep an eye on?
Yeah, I think we surprises. I think we have a really athletic group. From top to bottom, we're super athletic. I think that goes a long way in this league. James Scott, like I said, is one of the best pick and roll guys I've ever seen. Like, he catches anything up there. Corey Chess, very athletic. Holbert's very athletic for us. And one of the things that's not necessarily surprised me, but I think has been very good for us is the leadership. Malik has been really a good vocal leader for us, bringing us together on that regard, all the returning guys. Eduardo, I love playing with Eduardo. The way he plays is very contagious, makes you want to play the right way. And the biggest thing, not a surprise, but the biggest thing I like about this group is how much we value winning. That's not something you always have. You have guys with agendas in a lot of places, or guys that are focused on themselves about getting to the next level or getting their stats so that they can move up or something like that. That's not the case. I think we have 15, 16 guys here that are really want the best for the team and value winning over everything else. So that's not necessarily a surprise, but that's something I've really been happy with about our team.
All right, one more question and I will let you go. Let's say it's the NCAA tournament. You're on the floor. You got your number called to take a last-second shot. You're down by 1 point. You don't need a three-pointer. What's the shot that's getting taken?
Oddly enough, probably a mid-range. They would. I think someone guarding me would think I would try and get to a three. So maybe like a little sidestep or something, getting off the 3-point line, coming off a ball screen. Maybe hezzy at the 3-point line, get to the elbow, behind the back, or between the legs quickly into a quick pull up. I think would be good. I think that would give me a chance to either I'm going to make it, but if by some miracle I miss it, I think whoever's in there, James, Malik, Corey, somebody would have a chance while their guys helping on me to go get the rebound and put back. So I think that'd be the shot I'd go to.
All right, Travis Perry, transfer from Kentucky, a soon-to-be household name to every Ole Miss basketball fan. Thank you very much, Travis, for joining us. And, of course, everybody else, if you're interested in season tickets, now's the time to get them. They're on sale at the moment. So, Travis, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you to Ole Miss basketball and Travis Perry, and thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves on offering the most comprehensive perspectives which is why we are the front door of Ole Miss. If you don't believe me, go to Google and search Ole Miss Podcast and see how much we come up. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show, and it is totally free. Your support means the world to us. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes around college football's landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.